Alright guys, so sneak peek number 1 is here for the November update, and it is as we expected it to be, a Marvel's update. Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan, and Spectrum sneak peek number 1. So it's a 3P. It's gonna be interesting to see what they follow up with. I'm super excited to possibly jump back into Marvel Future Fight and start making daily content again, because I'm sure you guys noticed October was honestly the driest spell I've ever had since I started making Marvel Future Fight content on a well, actually not even on a regular basis, because like when I started making content, I've been dropping content consistently, maybe 10-20 videos a week. And this month, I don't think I even cracked 20 videos for the whole month. It really goes to show you that the month has been really bad, man. Truthfully speaking, the sneak peeks have been carrying the game throughout 2023. The sneak peeks get me hyped even when I know, and I really don't want to say this, the updates almost never measure up to the expectations that these sneak peeks set. But nonetheless, I'm hoping that they can turn things around. November is generally a money-making month for them because Black Friday is coming up. So hopefully they give players some of the things that they know we want to see, like game modes, improvements, rewards, etc. Otherwise, I don't know what to say, man. 2024 is going to be looking pretty bleak. However, I'm interested to see these 3 characters and how they're going to shape the game, because I have no intentions of watching this Marvel's movie, TV series, whatever the hell it is. I've basically tuned out of the MCU completely because of the direction that they've been taking it in. And you guys can let me know in the comment section if it's actually worth jumping back into. I honestly haven't seen anything since Ant-Man Quantumania. Like, I tuned out of everything, animation, TV series. I didn't even see, what is it called, Secret Wars with Nick Fury. None of that. I'm actually surprised that they didn't do an update for that. Maybe they'll tie that into November as well. Y'all let me know in the comment section. But yeah, how are you guys excited for Captain Marvel, Spectrum, and Kamala Khan? There's a couple different directions that they can take these girls, and I'm curious to see what they're gonna do this time around with them, especially Kamala Khan, because she's already so overpowered. The other two definitely need a lot of work. Maybe Captain Marvel more so than Spectrum, but Spectrum is a paywall character, so it'll be interesting to see how much they do to her to make sure that they make a bag off of her. So right here on the forums, this is what they had to say. The ability of these 3 superheroes who use light have been entangled. They're learning from Jada Pinkett Smith. If you want to get clout, cause an entanglement. Hey man, let me stop you, bro. That bald-headed fool out here embarrassing Will. Anyways, man, let me stop it. So there's an entanglement going on. Now they switch places whenever they use their powers. This is actually interesting. I want to see what's gonna happen if this is actually gonna make its way into the game, because in the trailer we saw Kamala Khan try to use her power and she turned into Spectrum. That would be really, really cool to see if that actually gets animated for all 3 of them. Now, I'm expecting it to just be when they use a specific attack, maybe they just transform into each other and then they go back to their original form. But it would be really cool. We've never seen anything like that. The best we have is like Mephisto transforming into his demon form. But this sounds pretty cool in theory. Let's see what they actually decide to do. So it says higher, further, faster, and together. Check out the trio of superheroes who absorb light, see light, and turn light into matter. I'm here for it. I think Captain Marvel needs the most help out of all of them. She obviously has a really old uniform. It's kind of sad to see this one go, because we're never really going to see her as a villain again. And this one has a lot of value, I say, for countering villains. It's a villain uniform that counter villains. So this is pretty cool for like Alliance Conquest, but it lacks survivability. It has no healing. So even though he has all of this damage reduction, which I'm really hoping she keeps, I'm hoping she keeps the at least the 40% basic damage reduction. If she gets to keep the extra damage to super villains and the decreased damage from super villains as well, that'd be cool. But I want her to keep that damage reduction at 40% at the very least. And I think the biggest thing that I need to see from Captain Marvel this time around is a really, really good heal, 30% or more. Anything less, I am going to be upset about it. Okay, I don't want another situation where she's lacking in survivability, so they need to fix that. And I would say they should give her penetration on one of her skills. This one already has the iframe ignore. They need to leave it this way, but also add penetration on the skill, and then open up the list of options that you have for CDPs for her, because for the lifetime of Captain Marvel, I've been using her with either a rage, a greed, or a destruction, because she lacks so many things. She's not really a proc friendly character, so if you're using her for PvE content, you generally have to default to a rage because she's not elemental. If you're using her for PvP, then you want to go with something that has penetration because she doesn't have that on her 1 through 5. And then if you want survivability, then you have to use a greed, because the greed will give you the ability to heal a little bit because she doesn't have a heal. So she's lacking quite a bit, so they need to cover up some of those gaps. Giving her a big heal would be nice, giving her penetration on her 1 through 5 would be nice, and in that way we can open up the list of possible CTPs for her. Additionally, I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Spectrum, because Spectrum truly has a really good base. She never had a uniform before, so she has a good base for PvP. She just doesn't have iframe ignore, and I would say they need to give her a better heal. She has, I believe, 20%, like, right? I think one of her skills give her 2 seconds, yeah, 2 seconds of healing, 10% each. So yeah, 20 is good. I think they should bump up the accumulation a little bit, give her a better heal, and then also give her iframe ignore. That would be really, really cool. I think what they should ideally try to do with Spectrum is make her relevant for Otherworld Arena or Otherworld Battle. She's never really gonna be, I would say, a staple for timeline battle, because tier 4s are so powerful now. She's not getting tier 4. Captain Marvel is the mainstay of this Marvel trio, so she's gonna get the tier 4. The other two are just gonna get uniforms, and you don't want them to overlap too much because they all have the exact same tags for the most part. They have energy, projection, and leadership. I think Kamala Khan has strong and Captain Marvel has fast movement, so that's the only real difference between them. I'll show you Kamala Khan right here. She has the strong tag, but you don't want them competing in the same pieces of content. Now obviously one is speed right now, but she could easily go back to her base, which is combat, so do keep that in mind. There wouldn't be too much of an overlap, but I don't think they're going to change her back to Inhuman, so she might stay as human, which is an overlap between the three of them, because they're all going to be human. I would prefer she went back to being Inhuman, honestly, because we don't have that many strong Inhumans in the game. So taking away one of the few that could be powerful and making her a human in a game where we have so many strong human characters already is just really silly, even though that's what they're doing in the MCU, and Marvel Future Fight is just following behind what they're doing in the MCU. But my point is, there's a lot of overlap between these characters, so they need to be very careful what they do here so that people don't just skip over these uniforms, because if they all do the same thing, then obviously you want to go for the one that gets the tier 4 and then skip over the other two. Now if they give one of these guys a support, but the thing is, these days we have so many support characters in the game that missing one support character isn't really going to hurt you too much. Let me see if I can find her really quickly. Spectrum, where are you, my girl? Right here. So these days, making one of these characters a support isn't necessarily a reason for you to buy them, because we have so many support characters at the moment. So I would say the best they could do for her is make her a mainstay for Otherworld Arena. Make Kamala Khan, she's already a powerhouse in this uniform for World Boss and Giant Boss Raid. Make her more of that, and then kind of branch out a little bit with Captain Marvel, make her a really good leader, making her a support and a leader. I don't know what they're gonna do for Captain Marvel, truthfully speaking, because these days I'm not even pushing an ABX and ABL. I'm not really even playing World Boss Legend at the highest levels anymore, because I've just gotten so bored of that. So they need to do something else to kind of give these characters in these uniforms value, and they can't do the same thing they've been doing, because it might work for newer players, but people like me who already have years invested, just kind of gets boring after a while. You guys let me know what you think in the comments though. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully game mode improvements, game mode changes, or something, bro. New Giant Boss Raid. At this point it's just getting really stale. Like obviously I'm excited to see some of these characters that haven't gotten any love yet get love, like the ones that are still at tier 2 and whatnot. But I need a little bit more, man. These guys have just gotten into a cycle of just doing what already works and not trying to branch out enough. I will give them some credit for this Groot event, which looks interesting. But obviously, the only time they want to do something interesting is when there's something for them to sell you, because they only did this Groot thing so they could offer this $6.99 package. Come on, man. Like, take some of that creativity and put it into something that's actually for the players instead of for your pockets. I'm gone.